Hello, and welcome back to Justin Connects. My name is Ashley, and today I'm going to explore the psychological, relational, economic, and spiritual effects poverty has on those who are disabled. Did you know that people with disabilities are far more likely to experience poverty, and that poverty itself can actually worsen disability? Disability and poverty are deeply connected in many ways that people never fully realize. Imagine needing medication, therapy, mobility equipment, transportation, or specialized healthcare, but not being able to afford it. Now imagine facing discrimination, unemployment, isolation, and chronic stress all at the same time. For millions of disabled individuals, this is everyday reality. Poverty and disability create a cycle that can be incredibly difficult to escape. Research shows that people living in poverty are also more likely to become disabled because of unsafe working conditions, poor health care, inadequate nutrition, environmental hazards, and chronic stress. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, adults with disabilities experience much higher rates of chronic illnesses than compared to non-disabled adults, including heart disease, diabetes, obesity, high blood pressure, asthma, and stroke. The World Health Organization reports that some disabled individuals have a life expectancy 10 to 20 years shorter than the general population because of healthcare disparities and poverty-related barriers. Many people with disabilities rely on medications, physical therapy, mobility aids, home health care services, and assisted devices. But when someone lives in poverty, these necessities become unaffordable. As a result, conditions often worsen over time. Research shows disabled individuals living in poverty are more likely to delay medical treatment, skip medications, experience preventable hospitalizations, and suffer from untreated conditions. Studies from the United States Department of Agriculture found that households with disabled individuals experience much higher rates of food insecurity. Poor nutrition can weaken the immune system, increase fatigue, worsen chronic illnesses, and slow recovery. Many disabled individuals living in poverty are forced to live in unsafe or inaccessible environments, such as stairs without modifications, poor heating and cooling, mold, or overcrowding. These conditions increase injuries, infections, respiratory problems, and intensify declines in mobility. Mental and psychological effects can be devastating. According to the CDC, adults with disabilities experience frequent mental distress, nearly 4.6 times higher than adults without disabilities. About 1 in 3 adults with disabilities report poor mental health for at least 2 weeks of every month. Why? Because poverty creates chronic stress. Many disabled individuals worrying about paying rent, affording medications, keeping healthcare coverage, finding transportation, or simply surviving financially are in a state of chronic stress. This stress affects the brain and body. Research links long-term financial stress to anxiety, depression, sleep disorders, emotional exhaustion, difficulty concentrating, and trauma. The World Health Organization states that people with disabilities are about twice as likely to experience depression than the general population. And social isolation makes things even worse. Transportation barriers, inaccessible environments, unemployment, and discrimination can isolate disabled individuals from education, work, friends, and community activities. Many report feeling invisible, excluded, or treated as incapable. Research shows that repeated discrimination can create emotional trauma and internalized shame. Studies indicate disabled individuals facing poverty and isolation have higher risk of suicidal thoughts, emotional distress, and suicidal rates. Poverty doesn't affect emotional and mental health. It also affects people's spiritual well-being. Research defines spiritual well-being as a person's sense of meaning, hope, purpose, identity, inner peace, and connection to others. Many disabled individuals living in poverty report feelings of hopelessness, abandonment, and question why they are suffering. Some describe feeling disconnected from their communities or forgotten by society. Poverty also affects opportunities. Children with disabilities living in poverty may attend underfunded schools, lacking in specialized services, assisted technologies, and accessible transportation, and trained staff. Many disabled individuals face unemployment, discrimination, lower wages, limited job opportunities, and inaccessible workplaces. Even when employed, some need reduced hours because of health limitations, making financial stability difficult to achieve. This reinforces the cycle between disability and poverty. Disability and poverty are not simply personal struggles. They are social issues shaped by healthcare, access to education, housing, employment, opportunities, transportation, and inclusion. Understanding these challenges is important because millions of people are living this reality every day. When society stops viewing disability and poverty as isolated personal problems and starts recognizing them as a collective human issue that affects entire communities, real change can begin. Every inaccessible building, every denied opportunity, every untreated medical condition, every person forced to choose between food and healthcare reflects systems that can and must be fixed. When people collectively decide that exclusion, negligence, and inequality are no longer acceptable, we will create an unstoppable force that can produce real change. So use your voice, share your story, create awareness, support others, challenge discrimination, support inclusion, and advocate for change. Awareness matters because silence allows suffering to remain invisible. Please like this video, share it with others who may resonate with the information, and subscribe so you don't miss the next video where I'm going to share with you how poverty affects those who have been marginalized because of their race or sexual orientation. Know that you are not alone and that I stand with you. Until next time, may you be blessed with love, health, and